Welcome to our new lessons. It is all about accounting for value added tax. Okay, so as we all know that VAT is not just entirely a new concept of business taxation, but it is just another form of tax levied on a wide range of goods and services. Specifically, it means that tax on the value added by every seller to purchase of goods and services. The approval of Republic Act 9337 number 14-2005 removes the VAT exemption of several formerly exempt sections of our economy. Thus, the burden of taxation is now shared more equitably. The approval has increased VAT from 10% to 12% effectively last February 2006. So last time the VAT is 10%, but today it is increasing 2%, so therefore 12% already. So the difference between our output tax is the tax on our sales, no? So that's the in output tax, that's the tax in our sales, no? So tax when we are selling items. And the input tax, that's the tax on our purchases, and it is our VAT payable, which will then be remitted to the Bureau of Internal Revenue rather, or the BIR, within 25 days after the end of each month. So input tax and prepaid tax are presented in the current asset section of the balance sheet, while output tax and VAT payable are presented in the current liability section of the balance sheet. So some of you are asking question, Ma'am, why is it we keep on paying for a tax? And what's the use of the tax of our nation? So as information of everybody, so tax itself is the lifeblood of our nation. So because without tax, of course, we don't have a infrastructure. We don't have a school. We don't have a road, no? Roads in different places. So tax is the tax that we are paying is that's intended for the projects, and we the people are benefited, or the people are benefits in that certain taxes that we paid, no? So whether you are working in a private and public establishments or industries or institution, you are paying for a tax, no? You're paying for tax. You are sharing your salary to the government. Okay, so even if you are dealing with business into your barangay, so you simply pay for a tax or barangay permit for you to operate your business, and you will pay also barangay certification and the, what do you call that one, the cedula, no? The cedula that you pay. So that's one of an example of paying tax to your barangay, no? So then later on, if your business will boom and grow, no, you are profitable, so therefore you will the municipal will be asking you to uh, get a business permit, the municipal permit, the sanitary, the health permit, and so on and so forth. Then there will be DTI in the province, no, Department of Trade and Industry, and you should have your own trade name, and you should pay for BIR. So that's on the process. Okay? So even if a simple sari-sari store na agad na siya, okay, the furnitures and fixtures and any businesses, no? So even if we are working and with a low salary, so of course we will be paying for a tax to the government. Okay, so that's the tax. If you remember that during the previous discussion, I discussed to you the value added tax has a two combination, or the selling activities and the buying activities and the selling activities. So therefore, I will be presenting to you the different entries on how to apply the VAT on purchases or on buying, and really what would be the related accounts used. So we have here purchasing activity, application of VAT on purchases and related accounts. So for cash purchases, when you are purchasing for cash, number one, bought merchandise for cash from P Tao Grocery, 100,000 pesos plus 12% VAT. So your journal entry is debit purchases amounting to 100,000. Debit also input tax 100,000 times 12% VAT, because it is indicated here in the problem that plus 12% VAT. So purchases, so the amount you purchase is 100,000 plus 12,000 VAT. So therefore cash and bank credit 112,000. So you should write your explanation here. Okay, so that's for cash purchases if you are buying an items for cash. So for account purchases or credit, utang, so you are asking for a credit to your supplier. Number two, bought merchandise on account from J. Aligado Mall, 75,000 pesos plus 12% VAT. So the term is 2 over 10, comma, n over 30. So we have the journal entry. So purchases, how much? 75,000 pesos. Input tax is used because this is purchases. So input tax will be used 75,000 times 12% of VAT, 9,000. So 75 plus 9,000 VAT is 84,000. Therefore, accounts payable credit 84,000. So to record blah blah blah. So of course you gain 12% VAT, so always remember. Okay, so there are term indicated here. So you don't need to solve the term yet because it is not stated here in the problem that uh, uh, you are paying, no? So nangutang pa lang ka ani. Okay? So ayaw sa pangayo og discount kay nangutang pa ka ani niya. So anyway, the discussion for the discount is to follow. Okay, so next, we have return of merchandise purchased in cash. So if ever there will be a return of items, no? So we don't know the time that we are purchasing, so there are defect or expire of items, so we need to return. Example, return 5,000 cost of merchandise bought for from Pitao Grocery for not conforming with order and not being replaced. VAT is 12%. So journal entry, we have debit cash in bank 5,600, purchase returns and allowances 5,000, input tax 5,000 times 12%, so 600. So 5,600. So you should add that one, and that's your cash in bank in the debit. So always remember, if you are purchasing here, uh, amounting to 112,000 with VAT. So when you're going to return some items, it should have VAT again. Kay nag-purchase man ka with VAT, so ug naa kay return nga items, so naapod siya VAT. Okay? Kay para mabalance ka, kay if you forgot to present the VAT, to return the VAT, so makuwangan ang imuhang amounts. So you cannot balance anymore. So that's the return merchandise purchase in cash. So we have return of merchandise on account. Example, return 10,000 pesos cost of merchandise bought on account from J. Aligado Mall for not conforming with order and not being replaced. So VAT is 12%. So here's the journal entry. Debit accounts payable 11,200. Purchase returns and allowances 10,000. So credit input tax 10,000 times 12%, 1,200. So simply add this returns, purchase returns, and the tax that you are paying when you are asking on credit to your supplier. So 11,200. So to record blah blah blah. Okay. So that's the return on merchandise on account. So let's proceed to payment of account at a discount. So payment of account with J. Aligado Mall within the discount period. So here's the journal entry. So debit accounts payable when you are uh, asking for a credit, no, remember. So you are asking for a purchase discount. So of course debit accounts payable 12,800. So simply credit purchase discount 1,300, input tax 1,156, cash in bank 11,344. So how did you get it? No, so solution. Here's the solution. Merchandise on account, so 75,000. Remember, when you are purchasing on account here, so this is worth of 75,000 pesos. Okay? So, since there are defects, so 75,000 na kay gi-return nga na kay gi-return purchase return nga 10,000, so 75,000 minus 10,000 65,000. So solve the purchase discount 2%, no, so that's 1,300 times 12% nga VAT, so therefore 156 VAT input tax. Okay, so you simply add 13 and 156, no, so 1,456. So minus the 12,800, so therefore 11,344. So that's the payment of account at a discount. So here, let's proceed to selling activities. So application of VAT on sales and the related accounts. So for sales on cash, so from the discussion a while ago, we are discussing the purchasing activity. So now it is already selling activity. So how to apply VAT on sales and its related or the related accounts. So for sales on cash, we need to sold merchandise for cash to Matero Convenience Center 190,000 plus 12% VAT. So the journal entry is debit cash in bank 190,000 times 12%, so 212,800. Okay, then sales, we have 190,000, so output tax is 190,000 times 12% VAT 22,800, so to record blah blah blah. Okay, so you simply add the sales and the VAT, the output tax, and the cash in bank is 212,800. So that's for sales on cash. So for sales on account, you are selling your sold merchandise on account to Eat Ditoya and Sons 180,000 plus 12% VAT. The term is 2/10 and over 30. So the journal entry is debit accounts receivable. So using credit sales to okay, 180,000 and credit output tax 180,000 times 12% VAT 21,600. You simply add 180 and 21,600, okay, to come up with 201,600 for the debit, and it's credit sales and output tax. Then to explain, to record blah blah blah. Okay, that's for sales on account. So namaligya ka nga giutang sa imong customers. So diri you are selling items cash na gipalit nga sa imong customers nga cash. Okay, so let's proceed. Receive merchandise sold for cash and returned by a customer. So it is the time that you are selling items on cash but there's a return from your customers. Example, receive 6,000 worth of merchandise returned by Matero Convenience Center due to bad order. VAT is 12%. So journal entry, sales returns and allowances 6,000. So output tax 6,000 times 12%, 720. The cash in bank is 6,720. Simply add the sales returns and allowances 6,000 and output tax 720 to come up with cash in bank 6,720. Okay, so here's your explanation. Okay, so to record, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so proceed. Let's proceed. Okay, so receive merchandise sold on account and returned by a customer. So number 4, transaction, receive 10,000 worth of merchandise returned by E. Ditoya and sends VAT is 12%. So the journal entry, debit, sales returns and allowances 10,000. Output tax 10,000 times 12%, 1,200, and accounts receivable 11,200. Okay, so to record, blah blah blah. So this is the items you are referring, this transaction you are referring to the previous account here, that you are returning the items, no, kaning you are selling on account Idetoya and Sons. So diri so there are defect, no, so nakagibalik, so mo na siyang uh, kuan, kay mo nang gidebit nimo kay gi-return man nimo, gibalik man nimo ang item. So kung na siya VAT, so kuhaan po nimo VAT unya return nimo. Okay, so mo ni siya. Okay, so you are returning items to the from the customers to the seller. So now let's collect the account with a discount. No, collected the account of Editoya and Sons, VAT is 12%. So let's get a 12% VAT or discount. If the if the customer is paying or paying for their credit from the purchase invoice, no, the given terms discount, the 10 and 30. So remember in the problem from the very beginning, no, 10 and 30. So it is stated in the problem that the customer is paying according to the discount date. So he or she met the discount date, no, so nakabayad siya within 10 days. Okay, so debit, here's the journal entry, cash in bank 186,592, sales discount 170,000 times 2%, 3,400, output tax are 3,400 times 12%, 408. You simply sum up that one, so that's your accounts receivable, 190,400. So how did you get that? How did you get, or how to get the discount? So 3,400 times 2%. Okay, 3,400 times 2%, 408 is our output tax. Okay, so how did you get the 186,592? So you simply this is just a tinamban style for you to know how to how I get this one, and there's a lot of techniques on how to get. Okay, so 190,400 minus 3,400 plus 408 minus 186. So 3,000 there. Okay, so and we have, okay, so or in other words, you simply add 3,400 plus 408. So it is 3,808. So minus the accounts receivable 190,400. So therefore 186,592 is your cash in bank. Upon checking your accounts receivable, so try to check another computation. So 180,000 minus 10,000 katong imuhang gi return na 10,000, so 170,000. So times 12% VAT, so 20,400 plus 170,000. Therefore you get the 190,400 accounts receivable. Okay, so that's the solution for the when you are collecting the account, discount in account. So makakuha gyapon kag discount bisan og utang siya, as long as sayo ka ni bayad according to the terms given from the problem. Okay, so next we have closing of the input and output tax. So let's try to post all the data here from input tax and output tax, no? Tanang input tax imong ipang butang sa ledger, no? So don't forget nga ibutang na sa ledger tanan katong input ug output tax. Si output tax ibutang pud nimo siya whether it is debit or credit ang iyang placement. Okay, so you should indicate that or post that to the ledger. Okay, so here after you indicate the debit and credit of input tax, 1 2 3 imong gi-add 3 4 5. So you simply add all the credit and the debit, so 21,000, and here the total of credit is 1,956. So simply deduct, no? So the normal balances is debit, so the the balance or the answer is placed in the debit side, 19,044. Okay, then output tax. So of course after you post here in the ledger 1 2 total, you simply total the credit and the 3 4 5 transaction, so simply total, then deduct, unlike sign debit and credit, no? So 42,072. Okay, so make a journal entry, no? Output tax debit 42,072. So input tax is your credit, the 19,044, and VAT payable 23,028 to record blah blah blah. So how did you get 23,028? So simply deduct 42,072 from 19,044 to generate the amount 23,028. And so that VAT payable 23,028 will be submitted to the BIR or Bureau Internal Revenue. Okay, so journal entry, remittance of VAT to the Bureau of Internal Revenue, VAT payable debit 23,028, credit cash in bank 23,028. So you should make an explanation here. Okay, so any questions? So if there are some questions, you will just comment or ask to me during our meeting time. Okay, so that's all for the lesson for accounting for value added tax. I hope you are listening. Thank you and God bless everyone.